Do you find peonies mind-boggling? Well, I certainly did, and I had to find a way to help me through it because they're not in season. So I looked at this mandarin and I thought, gee, that looks a bit like the head of a peony. And the clock helped me with the highlights and shadows on all those intricate little petals, and as did this little artificial petal of a flower. So let me show you how. So here's a mandarin, not unlike a peony head. And for the center, I thought I'd do some little smiles all the way around. The curve of the smile is the top of the petal. And all these petals need to grow from the base. So when I extend these lines down to the base, like that, I'll do every second one for starters. And then the in-between ones can fit in under those. And so now we have something that resembles a peony, you could say. This is where the stamens and stigmas are. And of course, there can be more petals around here, but it's a great start. I'm using my craft knife to cut around the petals so that I can pull them out and see what they look like. This could be a petal, slightly curved in. That looks nice. I wish they were in season. They're actually one of my favourite flowers. My absolute favourites are Australian natives. But other than that, peonies are right up there because they're just simply so beautiful. So there we have it. Here's our open peony. And if I take the center out, well, that's where the stamens and stigmas are. Now I can use this mandarin to help me with the different angles of perspective that I might see in a peony. Before I start painting, I need some idea of the light and shadows that are created by the different petals going around. This petal will be lit up on the outside and shadowed on the inside, whereas the petal on the opposite side will have shadow at the very base until the light hits it at the top and a bit of shadow behind. I found the tonal value sketch to be really helpful as I imagined the highlights and shadows. If you're keen on flowers, this is a really important part of the video, but if you'd prefer just the fun of painting, you can skip ahead to the painting chapter. So here's our basic setup. The petals go out. We do need to keep them within a circle. If all the petals were stretched out equally, their tips would reach the edge of the circle. Starting with the bottom petal, we could call it the 6 o'clock petal. If being folded in, it doesn't start at the circle, but a little bit towards the center. So here's the bulge of the petal, the part that we see. As I draw the tip of the petal, it now looks something like an eye. Starting at the base, I'm able to follow the petal's border all the way around from the base, up the tip, and back to the base again, all in one continuous line. On this 6 o'clock petal, we see a lot of the outside and a little bit of the shadowed inside. If we move up to the 12 o'clock petal, we'll see a lot of the sunlit inside. The purpose of this exercise is to show you a simple clock formula where you'll be able to easily determine the shadows and highlights on your petals going around the clock. There are limitless variations to our petals, but the first thing you'd notice between the 6 and 12 o'clock full petals is the 9 o'clock petal, which is roughly half the width. That's because we see it side on. I've made it a bit more cupped here, and therefore the highlight is on the entire outside. For the in-between petal between 6 and 9 o'clock, well, it has to be somewhere in between. So we'll still be seeing a lot of the outside, not as much as 6 o'clock. I'm pulling a line from the base of the flower through the center of the petal, and that then is the tip, drawing the petal around it and then determining how much of it is in the shadow and how much is in the light. Moving on to the 10:30 petal, I pull a line from the base. I can see we're on our way to fully revealing the inside of the petal, but not yet. So let's say 3/4 of it or so will be revealed. And on this side, the inside is in the shadow. Now that we've worked all that out, the other side's easy. It's just a mirror, really, of this side. So now that I'm doing the 3 o'clock petal, it'll be just like the 9 o'clock one, except that the inside of it will be lit because of the light coming from the left, and the outside will be shadowed. As a basic rule, the same applies to the other 2 petals as well. But as always, there are always variations. One might be hiding behind another petal. Whatever the situation is, just follow the clock and it should be much easier. The base of the head is the absolute darkest, as is the center of the flower. I'm working out an extra petal just by following the idea of the mandarin and the artificial petal. So in summary, and a few extra tips, we're best off focusing on all the petals on their inner side to make a better comparison. So if I start at the 6 o'clock one, you see a lot of it. In the next one, you see less of it until hardly anything, and then it goes the other way again. You see more of it and more of it. But notice how once we change from night to day, half of this little petal, or at least some of it, will be still in the night. It's just like the sun coming up in the morning. And then it gets light, and this petal down here is like dusk. The light transitions slowly to the dark, and we go round again. And when there's a bit of dark in a petal, it's a really good idea to have some light on the head of the flower. And here we have light, so here we have dark. And if it's all dark, then one should probably be darker, but it's really good for some places to be lost. So you can't really tell where the transition is, and it looks far more interesting when not all the differences in tonal value are specifically outlined. It's best to have some lost. I've mixed a little quinacridone rose into a separate little pan, about 2/3 buff titanium and 1/3 rose, to give us a softer rose to work with, just so it's not so stark. And then when it comes to the shadows, I've got a bit of rose here and a little bit of raw umber violet. Or you might have a maroon colour you could add if you don't have it. Our studies, we can now paint the peony. With my Rosemary & Co. Sienna Mop size 2, I'm plotting in the peony head, 3 main strokes and a few dashes up the top. The base is down here, and now we need to plot in our petals knowing that they grow from the base. I'm making my petals a little more random than on the study. I'm doing this by positioning my brush at the base of the flower and then pushing my brush outwards in the direction of a petal. This will give me petals that all face the base of the flower. I need to do this wet in wet so that all the paint merges together without any telltale lines. I'm keeping an eye on the outer circle so that I keep the main shape of the flower right. But with the foreground petal, I know that if it's turned up a bit, it won't be touching the circle. And it'll be a bit flatter on the bottom. Just one more petal and that'll be enough. I'm happy with that. It's one solid shape with heaps of possibilities for all sorts of petals. So now, while the paint's still wet, I'll take my eradicator and start lifting out a few highlights based on our tonal drawing from before. I know that the left side of the head will be lighter and the main foreground petal on the head will be lighter, and the right hand side, well, I won't touch that much because that's meant to be in the shade. I'm thinking I might like an extra layer of petals there, even if it's just one, it's okay, that's that one. And I'm confident with the left-hand side petals, I know that they'll be lighter on the outside. And even though I don't have the same quantity even of petals, the idea is there. I know that the left-hand side will have the lighter side on the outside. I also know that the right-hand side will be the opposite, and I know to position my petals so that the center points to the base of the head. I'm lifting some bits off the right-hand petals, but just to mark in the folds. And I'm adding another petal at about 7 o'clock. And now I can allow it to dry. Using my Sable Blend 1/4 inch dagger by Rosemary & Co., I'm loosely guided by my Mandarin and am brushing in the opening at the top of the peony and then marking in a few segments or petals, but not all the way down to the bottom. I'm adding a darker value behind that lifted little side-on petal, and by adding a darker value on the outside of it, it'll make the petals, the outer petals, look darker and highlight the small petal. Having worked out some of the highlights and shadows on the tonal value sketch, I can confidently put in the shadows on the left-hand side. As I paint in the shadow underneath the 7 o'clock petal or between the two 7 o'clock petals, it's also a bit of negative painting as the darker paint highlights the upper petal. Have to face the petal in towards the base. And see how I've got a lump there? Well, that can turn into a petal. Let me think how. Because of its location, I need to turn it into a 5 o'clock type of petal so that it still looks like it's facing the base of the flower. It's a little bit dark, that's all right. And this side of the peony has to be darker. And this can be darker in there, which makes the petals look lighter. And the center of the peony, and also the two petals behind the center. Adding those little directional lines really helps to anchor in the way they go. Even though this petal here is on the right-hand side, it's largely shadowed by the head of the flower. So I'm putting shadow in there and leaving it light down the bottom. Sometimes you just have to improvise and work with what you've got. For the next petal, there's shadow in behind it, down low, but then the light eventually hits it and it's lighter up the top, with the outside, the far right, being a bit darker. I've decided to put another petal in on the right-hand side, marking it in and then blending out the edges. Adding darks at the base of the head really gives it a lift, as does separating the petals with a bit of a darker value on the lower petal. So in summary, you can tackle complex flowers like peonies with a few household items as long as the shape is similar. Working around the clock facing the petals towards the base is definitely worth sticking to. And if you'd like to delve in deeper, ask questions and get answers, come on over to school. The doors are always open and the first 7 days are on me. We do practical examples, share artwork, and comment on each other's work. If that sounds like you, it's a perfect place to be. Thanks for watching and happy painting. Bye for now.